name is Suraj Nirola from team Barbracle, and this is our design of a finance app to manage budget for individuals. The theme of our design was budget at a glance. We wanted to make an application where you can just see at a screen and get all the required details about your budget. The application uses Sankey diagram to illustrate the cash flow. The income gets divided into categories and subcategories. On the top, we also see various alerts and highlights for the month. One of the important information that we see on the top is when a category is over budget. Here we see that a restaurant is over budget by $5. Now if I want to see all the transactions that made my budget for restaurant, I can simply go to restaurants and hover over it. Simply hovering over it, it gives me the restaurant budget at a glance. It tells me how much I have already spent and what my budget was. It also tells me what the transaction that I have made over the course of the month. The application makes rebudgeting really easy. Now I know I have done all the grocery for this month and I don't need this remaining $20. And I want to transfer this $20 from grocery to restaurant. I can simply click on this node and this brings up the edit grocery budget. I can change this to $180, save it. Now I can increase my budget for restaurant to $220. Simply doing this removes that restaurant over budget, and now the red arrows are gone and I still have some budget to left. The other item that I see on the highlight is the remaining. I see that I have not spent any money on rent, but I realized that I had just made a payment this morning to my landlord, and I want to add that transaction. To add the transaction, I simply click on the hamburger menu on the top. This brings up different options that can be performed. The first one is add transaction, and the second one is to create a budget. We also notice that there is a Control T and Control B shortcuts to perform these actions. These were created as a flexibility principle to allow expert users to do things quickly. I still prefer my mouse over my keyboard, so I'm just going to click on the add transaction. In this pop-up, we see a simplistic design again, following the simplicity principle. We also have a cancel button, which lets user get out of it if they did not intend to add a transaction. But I, on the other hand, want to add the transaction, so let me fill this information. Amount is $450, and I made a payment using a check. So let me write that and click on add. As soon as I add it, I see that my highlight is gone. My rent shows it's paid, and on the transaction, I see that the transaction got recorded. If I do not want to see this box, I can simply X out of it and get rid of it. The other item that we see on the hamburger menu is to create a budget. Clicking create a budget brings up a new screen as a pop-up where we can create a budget. The application is smart enough to know that it's the end of the month, so if I'm clicking on create a budget, I probably want to create a budget for August. So by default, it shows that I want to create a budget for August. It also subtly gives me the option to copy a budget from July. The button here uses a familiarity principle. It uses a blue color, so I know that this is clickable. I know that my August budget is not going to be that different from July, so let me simply copy it. By simply clicking copy, it brings all the information that I have from the last budget. I also want to add a new category this time. I want to give some charity. So I can add that, and then I can set the amount for it. Well, I'm not really ready to create budget for August yet, so I'm going to cancel out of it. As a last note, the application uses grids. We have a separate grid for highlight section, a grid for overall, and a separate section for the details. It is also designed in grayscale, which follows the tip for good UI design discussed in the lecture. This was my short demonstration of our team project. Thank you for watching.